My friend, a motivator, and my rock. Because I never feel alone. I am never alone. I know that there's someone always there to support me, to help me, to correct me. And that's something very important for me to be able to progress and live throughout my life. Regardless of what happens, there's something that always says, keep going, you can do it, you can do it. To push me to reach my potential, to be the best that I can be. And that's something that I never had before. In times where everything is going wrong, times where I don't understand things, there is an inner strength within me that allows me to not be defeated by things that are going on around me, by situations. When I used to think about God, an image used to appear in my mind because that's what I learned as I grew up. I was searching for something and I was searching in the wrong places a lot of the time. But I learned that He's actually someone who is real, who can actually help me throughout my life, who can actually be there for me. I was determined to do whatever I needed to do to have His Spirit. And as I began to invest in a relationship with Him by speaking to Him, praying, by reading the Bible, I began to develop a relationship with God. And it was really good because I wasn't alone anymore. What was very significant is I wasn't empty anymore. There wasn't a void anymore. I was fulfilled. And it's like I had a new vision, a new drive. And that was basically to be the best that I can be, to reach my potential. Once I received the Spirit of God, I had this peace, I had this joy, and things changed.
Good evening. They say that time waits for no man. And everyone has one of these in their lives. Everybody has a certain amount of time. Everyone is given a certain amount of time. The problem is, no one knows exactly how much time that is. You have a certain amount of time to solve a problem. You have a certain amount of time here on earth. We would all like that time to be 100 years, 90 years. The truth is, we don't know how long we have. And so, without us knowing, there is a timer. There's something like this there, counting the time, an hourglass that is counting the time that you have left in your life. You know, recently we started a brand new year, 2015, and most of us made resolutions, things you wanted to start, and perhaps as quick as you started that resolution, you also gave up on it. A week later, 2 weeks later, that resolution no longer was part of your day-to-day life. But maybe all is not lost. And I say maybe, I could say for sure all is not lost. But I will say maybe, do you know why? Because whether all is lost or not, it depends on you. If you decide to make a decision, to take a decision while there is time, then we can say that all is not lost. And the thing is that the power to make that decision is in your hands. The only problem is that you need to make that decision while you still have time. Before that hourglass comes to an end, before the sand comes to an end, you need to make your decision. It's now or never. That relationship that you've been working on, or you think you've been working on, perhaps you're supposed to do something about the relationship, maybe things are not going well. You've been told by your partner that if things don't change, he's going to walk, she's going to walk. But maybe you haven't made that decision yet. Maybe you're on borrowed time in your health. Your doctors told you you're on borrowed time. Your Your boss has told you that unless you change your on borrowed time, maybe your life, you feel that if you don't do something right now, tomorrow might be too late. I'm going to tell you in a few moments how you can make the most of right now, and you can choose to turn your life around before your time is up. I want to show you this video, this very interesting video that we prepared for tonight's program. Have a look.
25. Lose weight. 24. Exercise. 23. Quit smoking. 22. Quit drinking. 21. Get a new job. 20. Get out of debt. 19. Save money. 18. Eat healthier. 17. Get organized. 16. Spend more time with family. 15. Manage stress better. What sounds like a natural and reasonable resolution is very often difficult, vague, and hardly a measurable thing, with only about 5% of people actually doing it. There are some psychological strategies on how to handle stress, but they are extremely hard to acquire. In fact, stressing less is likely to be the very first resolution you'll break this new year. 14. Enjoy life to the fullest. 13. Stop procrastinating. 12. Travel. 11. Improve a relationship. 10. Learn a new language. 9. Have better sleep. 8. Spend less time on Facebook. 7. Spend less time watching TV. 6. Get rid of old clothes. 5. More biking. 4. Run a half or full marathon. 3. Try an extreme sport. 2. Do something for charity. And 1. Have a baby.
Those are the top 25 New Year's resolutions. How many of those have you broken? How many of those have you already quit and you don't even remember? It seems like a million years ago when you made those resolutions. You know, it's important to be perseverant. Good evening, Victoria.
Good evening.
What do you have to say about tonight's topic?
Well, resolutions are quite interesting. I didn't really realise how many people do make resolutions, and it's actually 50% of the population will make a New Year's resolution on New Year's Day. But unfortunately, for example, people who will make a resolution about going to the gym on New Year's Day, by the end, in January, 37% have already given up on their New Year's resolution. And by the end of February, 97% of people will have broken their New Year's resolution.
That's it. You're out of time. Out of time. That's it. Whatever. That's how life is. When you least expect, it's over. It's finished. You don't get a warning because you're running out of time. No one tells you, listen, you've got a few more days. That rarely happens. So you don't get a warning when you are about to die, when you're something tragic's about to happen. And I don't want to make you feel gloomy. I don't want to make you think that something bad's going to happen. What I want you to understand is that we don't have, eternal time, endless time. We need to make decisions right now. And you were saying, Victoria, that, most people, if they join a gym, by the end of January, that's it. They're trying to quit, or they no longer go to the gym and still have to pay for the monthly payments, because sometimes you have a minimum contract you have to abide by. I think a lot of people regret not having made certain decisions and stuck to certain decisions.
People do, but what you tend to find actually is the next December, people find themselves in exactly the same situation. And even for 5-10 years, people might be making exactly the same New Year's resolutions, but they just keep breaking them over and over again. Now, reasons for that could be things like they set themselves goals that are too high. Somebody, a psychologist has actually termed the phrase false hope syndrome. And this is when you set yourself a goal that's far too extreme, it's way out of your league, and it doesn't then sit nicely with you at this time. So it's called false hope syndrome. So when you eventually break your New Year's resolution, you actually feel low and you can reduce your self-esteem even.
We're going to do something right now. If you have been wanting to do something for a long time, but maybe you don't feel the strength to do that. Perhaps you've been wanting to quit an addiction. You're a smoker. Would you believe it that the person I have sitting with me in the studio today used to smoke 10, no less than 10 roll-up cannabis joints. I don't know if that's how you call them. Is that how you call them?
I think so.
10 cannabis joints a day. 10 cannabis joints a day. He's free. He took the time that was given to him and he said no more. But he couldn't do that by himself. He did that. He was in that addiction for years. But with the strength of God, with the help of God, he was able to be free. Perhaps you've been wanting to do something for a long time. Perhaps there was a young man who's getting married actually this week, and he was telling me that before he plucked up the courage to go to his girlfriend, now it's going to be his wife at the end of this week, he was talking to her, seeing her once in a while for 6 months before he actually made a move. Maybe you've been waiting for that strength. Maybe you've been waiting the strength to pack up that job that you hate and go for what you really want to do. You did that, Victoria, right?
Yes.
Not a job that you hated, but one day you made a decision to do something different. How was that moment where you seized the moment and you said, I'm going to do this, and you changed careers just like that?
It was extremely scary, and I came to the end of my tether, as it were. So actually, it was quite traumatic and quite emotional, really. But once I'd made the decision, it was like a weight had been lifted off your shoulder. It really does feel like all these things that are weighing you down just get released in one moment, and it's quite liberating.
Yeah, and I think that's what you need to do. So here it is. I'm going to put this hourglass here on Victoria's table. And over the next 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes to do something significant with your life. What I want you to do over the next 5 minutes is, perhaps you've been wanting to do something for a long time, but you don't have the strength. What I want you to do is pick up your phone right now and call our team of pastors. Let's put the camera on the hourglass. I want people to see that hourglass there, which lasts for 5 minutes, will be there, and we want you to call in and tell us the decision you want to make. We're going to pray for you. 020-7686-6300. Let's go for a break.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Welcome back. Time is ticking. If you would like to talk to someone about receiving strength to do something different, something positive, something you've been wanting to do for a long time but never really had the strength, maybe a change of career, whatever it is, give us a call and you can talk to us. You can also send us an email to help@findinganswers.tv, and of course you can also contact us via Facebook and Twitter, and you can do that how, Victoria?
So if you'd like to contact us via social media, then you can send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or you can talk to us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
We're going to watch this video about tonight's topic as well. When we come back, Victoria will be telling us about the harming effects, the negative effects that cannabis can have on a person, especially if they smoke about 10 joints a day. Imagine that. We'll be meeting Jason in just a few moments.
At the end of each year, many people want to start afresh and decide to make changes in their lives. This tends to be through New Year's resolutions. These resolutions are often to lose weight, to find a new job, to spend more time with family, or to get out of debt. More than 2/3 of the British public start the new year with the greatest intentions of joining the gym. However, 37% of those who signed up for gym membership will quit by the end of January. Broken resolutions could be because we make too many at one time. We won't do the hard work to actually achieve them. We don't get started the right way, but instead procrastinate. We may adopt someone else's resolutions and not our own. We aren't willing to fail when trying to achieve them. We quit before the finish line. Or if they're about what you think you should do rather than what you want to do. So, if you have given up on your New Year's resolutions, don't worry. You may feel like you've wasted some time, or even feel exasperated. But what have you learnt about yourself? You can still make changes, not just on the 1st of January, but all year round.
So welcome back to Finding Answers. So like James mentioned earlier, I'm just going to talk to you just a little bit about the effects of cannabis, because like we mentioned, our guest smoked an awful lot of cannabis. Now, cannabis can be a depressant. So some drugs are stimulants and cannabis is a depressant. And what this means is it actually can slow down your heart rate and your breathing, and it can actually become fatal. But cannabis is also linked to psychological disorders such as schizophrenia, and we know that that can be a very, very traumatic disease, as it were, to have, because you may hear voices, you may then you may find yourself actually having something called a cataleptic stupor, which is where you can't actually physically move your body even though you want to. So the long-term effects of cannabis can be very significant, but also because you smoke cannabis, it can also have the same negative effects as smoking cigarettes, so you could develop lung cancer. So there are a wide range of negative effects of cannabis.
Now, we're going to meet this gentleman, Jason Clarke, who's here with us, but he will tell us not just that problem that he had, but all the situations in his life that were quite negative and how he managed to overcome that. Let's meet Jason.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back. Now, Jason, welcome to the program.
Hi, Bishop.
10 joints of cannabis a day.
Yes, Bishop.
You were telling me before the program between 5 and 10. Was it mostly 10, mostly 5?
Well, to be quite honest, I started off when I was 14 and it slowly increased. It increased, Bishop, and basically what would happen is that, as I said, I would be around people. I would begin to smoke more and more and more. My life began to revolve around it. It's like I couldn't do without it, even when one of the New Year's came, because I was smoking it since the age of about 14 until the age of 40. New Year's come around and I would try and give it up. And when I would even do without it for about 2 weeks, I felt like if I was suffocating. So it was my life. I would smoke when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was up, when I was down.
So you smoked this from the age of 14 to the age of 40.
Yes, that's correct, Bishop.
That's most of your life.
Yes.
Right? And of course, it started as, I mean, you probably started smoking once in a while, and then it became something that you couldn't do without. Do you remember the first time that you started smoking cannabis?
Yes.
How did it happen? Someone offered it to you, or?
A friend offered it to me, and I didn't like it at first, and then don't ask me why, but I was glutton for punishment. I went back for more for some funny reason or the other, because I felt a bit sick, felt lightheaded and what have you.
So you wanted to quit this because you
Yes.
said that every New Year's Eve you would make a resolution that you would stop.
That's correct.
But you couldn't really keep up with that,
No, I couldn't.
Resolution.
No.
How many resolutions did you do to stop smoking?
Many, Bishop, many, many. As I said, I just kept on struggling, and plus the circle of people who I was around didn't help me as well, or I didn't help myself being around them. I also would delve in illegal activities, so when I wasn't working to be able to supply my habit, I would also sell to fund my habit.
So you would sell cannabis, you would smoke cannabis. Cannabis was all around you. It was your life revolved. Would you say your life revolved around
Yes,
it?
Bishop, it did revolve around it.
Right. And I mean, how was your health because of that? Were you affected in your health because of this, or you know, your body had grown accustomed to it?
Well, it would affect me, and I would always want to be spitting every minute or bringing up phlegm off my chest. But after a while, my body got accustomed to it, so hence that's why it worked up to the 10 spliffs a day.
Okay. Now, how was your life? I mean, you were, career-wise wasn't going well because you said you constantly had to go back to selling in order to support your habit. You had this addiction. How were your relationships in general in terms of your love life? How was that?
I had one particular long relationship, but it was full of arguments. Every bank holiday or Christmas time or certain periods of the year, we'd always be arguing, bickering over nonsense and stuff like that. And it's only now looking back I can see that the weed had something to do with that. I was very ignorant and arrogant.
The person you were with also had a cannabis problem?
No, not so much as myself. It was mainly me, but they would indulge now and then.
So she had as well, right?
Yes.
If the person smokes one joint of cannabis once in a while, or if they smoke 10, it can still have the same negative effect. So your relationships weren't great either. No. I mean, when you found, just before you came to the church, when you found yourself at a certain age where relationships weren't going well, your career wasn't going well, you had this addiction that you wanted to quit and you couldn't. I mean, where did you see your life going? When you stopped to look at yourself, what did you think about your life?
I felt like if my life was on the road to nowhere, to be quite honest, Bishop. And then a friend of mine invited me to the church. I could see for myself what a great difference him coming to the church has made in his life and his brother's life. And I thought I need to switch lanes, basically.
So you thought that this could help you?
Yes, Bishop.
To change. All right. We're going to hear after the break in a little bit what was it that coming to the church helped you to quit that, because there had to be something special there, because you tried to quit for the best part of 30 years and you couldn't, but coming to the church helped you to change. So we're going to find out what that was. If you are right now going through an addiction, it doesn't have to be cannabis. Maybe you struggle with gambling, with another kind of drug. I was reading a story of one of our current members from another country, and this person was, she is still a model, doing really well for herself in one of the countries in Europe. And she said because of the lifestyle of modeling, she got involved in first it was cannabis, then it was ecstasy, and later cocaine, so badly that it completely ruined her life, destroyed her life. But also the power of God through coming to the church helped her to change. Perhaps you have a lifestyle that no one would think you have a gambling problem, a drugs problem, a drinking problem. You are a functioning, perhaps you're a functioning alcoholic, a functioning drug addict, a functioning gambler, but you want to stop. Get in contact with us. I believe that the same help that Jason received, you can receive, and it can help you as well. 020-7686-6300. We're going to go to a break. Don't go anywhere.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
I was an alcoholic, but before that I grew up in a family who were alcoholics. My lowest point was when I was at the hospital and my GP told me that I had problems with my liver. I heard about the help center when my son invited me. On a Tuesday was the day that you could come for prayers. This was in July 1997 when I stopped drinking completely, and I'll never drink again.
Finding Answers. So just to let you know that on Wednesday's show, we have an abuse special, and I will be interviewing an expert guest. She's called Dr. Vania, and she is an expert in abuse at the home and domestic violence. So that will be on Wednesday's show. So back to today, our topic is broken resolutions. So we've been out and about on the streets of London asking the general public, have they broken their New Year's resolutions?
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and families as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chica on the streets of London once again for Finding Answers. Our New Year's celebrations are now a month behind us. But how have those resolutions been going? I'm going to find out from the general public. Let's see what they say. Have you stuck to your New Year's resolutions?
No, because I didn't have one. Never had one. Everyone gave up drink. I didn't, because I think you need drink in January to get over Christmas.
I didn't make one. So no, I didn't make one.
No, I haven't. I give up smoking.
Yeah, quit smoking. No, I broke up. I was gonna not drink Coke, like fizzy drinks. Then I done it on the second day.
Absolutely not. It's to stop biting my nails, and they're awful. So that wasn't very good.
I think I long ago realised that there's not a lot of point in making New Year's resolutions. You have to have resolutions every day of your life.
I did. I completed it. It was a dry January, bar a couple of hours. But yes, I managed to achieve that.
I agree with that lady. There's not much point making New Year's resolutions. You just have to decide to do something at whatever part of the year, because the 1st of January is just a number in the calendar, right? So just decide to do something and stick with it. Now, going back to Jason. Jason, you came to the church at a point where you really wanted to quit smoking cannabis. During the break, you would tell us that sometimes you would spend £100 worth of cannabis. That would last you for how long?
That could last me anything for about 2-3 weeks or so.
2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when was it that you came to the church? Who invited you to come to the church?
A friend of mine called Morris. He invited me. Previously, before I went out to Amsterdam to see his brother, who is part of the church, and I was smoking a spliff out there, and basically he said, I need to give up, and I said, I'm trying, and he turned around and said to me, you need to try a lot harder. Now, when he said this to me, I wasn't best pleased, to be quite honest. It's something that I didn't really want to hear, but it was the truth, and I had to look deep within I had to look within myself and say, you know something, your friend really has got a point.
So was it him that invited you to come to the church there in Amsterdam?
Yes, I went to the church with him in Amsterdam as well as his brother over here.
Sure. Then you came back here, you started attending the church.
That's right.
Here. What was it in coming to the church that really helped you? Because there must have been something there that triggered that strength to change, to quit. What was it?
Well, it was the preaching as well as the advice as well as the chain of prayer. And the positive information that they were giving me, they were very helpful and supportive at the church.
The chain of prayer, how important was that in you quitting the addiction?
It was very important, Bishop. It helped me a great deal.
But what about, for example, you're saying it was very important. What was it about it that was important in you quitting? What did you find in the chain of prayer that really gave you that strength?
In a sense of once I started it, and because of the word that I was hearing, I just wanted to keep on coming back and just stick to it, because I just thought enough is enough. I had a chance of, I started and stopped, and at first I wasn't taking it serious, but I had a revolt that came up in me and said, you know, enough is enough. I need to turn my life around. I need to switch lanes. I've had enough of this life.
How long have you been free from the cannabis?
I've been free from the cannabis about 2 years now.
2 years.
Coming to 2.5
And before,
years.
the most you could stay out of taking cannabis was 2 weeks.
Yes.
So 2 years is a big difference for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Do you feel, when you walk past someone smoking cannabis on the street, do you feel like you want to grab the joint from their hands?
No, Bishop. I'm glad that I'm free of it, because I was, to be quite honest, I was a slave to it, and I didn't like that feeling at all.
So, but when you feel that smell, when you smell the smell of cannabis, do you miss it? Do you say, oh, I wish I could have one? Or do you feel sick? Or you just...
I don't. I'll be quite honest, I don't like the smell of it anymore. No, I don't. I just want to stay away from anybody who associates themselves with that.
Okay.
To be quite honest.
And you were saying that before your relationship history wasn't really good.
No.
How is that area of your life now? How's the relationship department?
Right now, due to coming to the church, I've met a lovely young lady. Our relationship, we're getting to know each other, and we're going from strength to strength. And I couldn't be more happier. I feel a lot more confident in myself.
Still doing illegal activities?
No more.
No?
No more. No more illegal activities, Bishop.
What do you do? I mean, what is the career path like? What are you up to?
Well, I've started my own. I work for myself, working for a reputable company as a driver, but I'm doing my own sideline projects on the side where I'm self-employed, and I'm just trying to move on from there to go from strength to strength.
That's great. And I'm sure because you don't have this habit, you can finally look into saving money, right? Because it was an expensive habit to keep.
Very much so,
right?
Bishop.
So you're a different man, Jason.
Yes, Bishop.
You said also that you used to be arrogant. Are you still arrogant?
No, I used to be, as I said, very arrogant, and I'm very selfish. Because sometimes I would smoke around people who it wouldn't agree with them, and I was only just thinking about myself and nobody else. But it's only now I'm away from it, I can see how much of a monster I used to be quite honest.
You used to be a monster.
A monster in the sense of like horrible, just thinking about myself and not others.
Because now you look like a very calm guy, very relaxed, very calm. Right?
Yes.
Not because of the cannabis.
Not because of the cannabis.
But because God has put peace in you and you've changed.
That's right, Bishop.
And you're happy.
I am very much so.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here on the show.
Thank you,
It's
Bishop.
really helped, I believe, people who are watching to make them understand that they can have the strength to be free. If you're watching me now and you say, listen, I want to find the strength to overcome a problem that I have. Like we said at the beginning, perhaps you feel like you are running out of time in your life. You want to do something positive in your life, but you can't find the strength, the get up and go attitude to do it. Then I tell you that if you learn to use your faith, you can be free. If you would like to do that, give us a call. The number is 020-7686-6300. And just like Jason was able to learn how to be free from his problem, you can also do that. We're going to watch a wonderful testimony now, and then we'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll be speaking here to one of the pastors of the church, Pastor Abraham, who'll be talking to us about the prayer we are going to make later in the program.
I started hearing voices when I was 20 years old. It's something I didn't ask for, nor did I expect. It just came upon me like that, basically. I couldn't control them. They took over my whole life.
I've been in the church for 4 years now, and in these 4 years, I was always up and down in my spiritual life. A couple of months I'll be okay, and then all of a sudden I'm down again.
So I got to a point where I was on lots of medication, and the schizophrenia, the voices in my head would control my life. I got to a point where I couldn't even put my head down to rest or close my eyes without basically screaming, because the voices in my head were taking control of everything.
I did many things on my spiritual life, but it just wasn't seem to be moving forward. So in my family, I come from a background where I've had witchcraft done in my family. I was abused when I was young, so there was a lot of things that I kept inside, a lot of things that I didn't realize I hadn't fought against, many things that I realized I didn't overcome.
I started drinking alcohol, and this became a very severe problem at the time. And I would even start drinking in the afternoon, as early as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd start drinking at home on my own, just to drown the voices out. And this became a daily routine with me. I would drink, I'd go to the off-license, buy the cheapest wine, beer, cigarettes, stay at home and just drink by myself just to block these voices out.
In the previous campaign that we took part in, I decided to really go for it for my spiritual life, and I remember for the first week already I was defeated because I had so many doubts. So many voices are saying, well, you've done so many campaigns, look where you are, 4 years in the church, you've done many campaigns, but you're still here. So what makes you think this campaign is going to be different? So I had to fight that. And then as well, I was trying to go around the places to build up my sacrifice, but doors were really closed. Nothing was moving forward for me. This campaign was really, really hard.
I tried everything to stop these voices, down to medication, herbal medication, acupuncture, and even went to witch doctors to stop the voices in my head, but nothing worked. Everything just seemed impossible for me, and I thought I would be living in this hell basically the rest of my life.
It was really, really hard, but I kept going because I knew what I wanted from God. I knew that I'd had enough of my spiritual life, always up and down in the church.
I listened to the pastor and the assistants, and what they told me to do, I did it. I wanted to be free, and I believed that I would be free if I made a chain of prayer, and basically if I just used my faith. It was impossible for these voices to go, because it was impossible for me to ever get rid of these voices. I thought, if I do this and use my faith, they will go. God has to do something.
I kept going because I knew what I wanted from God. I knew that I'd had enough of my spiritual life, always up and down in the church. So I did that part, and I was also fasting. I was doing long hours, like 12 hours, because I'm a person, I never liked fasting. I did not like fasting. So I would fast for 12 hours, I would pray in the night, I would do things that I just didn't like doing before.
And he did. Today I'm free. I'm not addicted to alcohol. I don't have to take medication, and above all, I do not hear any voices inside my head.
After I kept on fighting and going, I overcame the abuse of the past. I overcame the feelings that I had towards men. I was no longer afraid of men. I was no longer tensing, like I would tense. If men come near me, I'll be afraid of them. So all of that went. I overcame my complexes. I overcame many things that were stopping me from moving in life.
Today I'm a different person. I'm happy, no longer depressed. I'm also able to advise others as I'm an assistant in the church. I am just so pleased that God has helped me. My faith has helped me. And if it helped me, it can help you.
The campaign really does work because God has changed me today. The Tanaka that I was about 4 months ago, 2 years ago, is not the Tanaka that you see here today. So the campaign really works, and I'm very happy.
How does a person gain control of themselves again? Let us help you.
As a man, I understand the struggles men like me go through. They need to be strong always and not to show any weakness, even though it's there. To be a leader to our family, to our wife and kids, when we really wish someone else would show us the way. To choose what is right in a world of wrongs. To admit to our mistakes when our egos don't want us to be exposed. To learn to be a man when we're still only a boy inside. Being a man is not easy. But hard is also a part of being a man. We don't like anything easy. We want challenges. We want to prove that we can do it. that we are bigger than the problems staring us in the face. That's why we go to the moon, we climb the Everest, we sail around the world, and build fast cars. We like the feeling of accomplishment. And please don't ever tell us it can't be done. We will die trying. Being a man is not easy, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And yet, the true conquest of a man is not measured by his money, power, or fame. His greatest achievement is to overcome himself.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier? Introducing the Love Therapy website. Love Therapy can help you find true love and show couples how to enjoy happiness through a successful relationship. So why not click on the Love Therapy website for dynamic, interesting and useful tips on love. You can watch inspirational videos from happy couples sharing their experiences of maintaining relationship strength, and find out when the Love Therapy meetings are. If you're looking forward to a first date, then the Love Therapy website has 5 tips for that all-important first date. And why not sign up for the Love Therapy newsletter to receive the latest news and events postings? All you need at your fingertips. The Love Therapy website.
Welcome back. Let's talk about time. We were talking about time at the beginning of the program. Everybody in this world wants more time. They need more time. And no matter how much you try to squeeze things into your day, we always end up finishing our day with things that we wanted to do and we couldn't. Sometimes because we prioritize things that are not that important, right? If you prioritize the things that are important, then although there are things that are left undone, you know that they weren't the most important ones. And the truth is that, we are great at finding excuses for not doing things. I have my colleague, Pastor Abraham, here with me. Good evening, Pastor Abraham. Someone once told me something very interesting. When we don't want to do something, our brain will automatically, without being asked to, he will come up with a million good excuses as to why you shouldn't do that. You didn't ask your brain, give me an excuse for me not to do this, but he will do it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to do something. And we human beings are great at that, at putting things off. I'll do that tomorrow. And as we do that, we lose a lot of opportunities. We get old and we don't achieve the things we want. And sometimes it's important just to take the bull by the horns and get things done.
Yeah, it's important to prioritize what is really important, Bishop. For instance, there are many people who end up prioritizing things that just you said that could be done later. But I do believe that the most important thing is when the person prioritizes her own life, the change that she really needs to do on her own self. For example, we were just watching Jason's testimony. So one day, he decided to prioritize this deliverance from that terrible addiction that lasted, I believe, 26 years. During 26 years, he was smoking cannabis. So I do believe that he lost many opportunities simply because he was losing the most important opportunity that he had, which was to change his own life.
I'm sure we have people watching us now who have kept saying for a long time, you know what? One day I'm going to go back to university. One day I'm going to, do that thing I've always wanted to do. Like we saw in that video in the beginning, the 25 most broken resolutions. One day I'm going to run a marathon. One day I'm going to, have a son, daughter, whatever. One day. And the thing is, what the problem is with procrastination? Is that time goes so fast that sometimes you look back and you see that the time you could have done that is gone. So maybe you're watching me now and you've been saying for so long that you've wanted to quit that addiction. You've been saying for so long that you wanted to get your health back. Perhaps a lot of the problems you have with your health are down to the way you treat your body. Maybe you abuse your body and then you complain. My father-in-law, a couple of years ago, almost died because of a serious health issue that he had because of his drinking. It wasn't because, his body was getting old. He's not that old. Problem is, drink a bottle of whiskey a day and then you tell me in 20 years how you feel. That's a problem. So maybe you've been saying, I'm going to quit this. How many people say, look, I want to treat my wife better. One day I will start valuing my wife better. One day when? When she doesn't want to be with you anymore because you mistreated her. Perhaps you say, one day I'd like to spend more time with my family, with my children. One day when your children grow up and move out, when you can't spend time with you anymore, and they resent you for the fact that you weren't there. So maybe you want to do all these things, but you don't have the strength. You lack the willpower, the power to make those choices. I want to offer right now a prayer for you. In fact, Pastor Abraham will help us to make this prayer for you. If you have all these plans, you just feel you're running out of time, the Bible says we can redeem time. Even if you're running out of time, in that little time you may feel you have left, you can do all the things, or almost all the things you didn't do until today, because God can help you. Prepare your glass with water. I have mine already here prepared. We are going to ask God to consecrate this water so it can be medicine, it can be strength, it can be freedom, deliverance for you to quit that addiction, for you to get your life back in order. Prepare your glass with water. Let's talk to God now.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer for your health and general well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
Our Lord and our Father, in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, we intercede on the behalf of this person who is watching this program in this very moment. This person, my Father, who keeps losing opportunities or keep on quitting, plans and projects, my God, to start a new life, to make the right choices. So I pray right now, we pray, so that you visit this person right now. Visit this woman, this man, whoever he or she might be in this moment, to remove this spirit of delay, of procrastination. My God, wake up the faith of this person right now in this very moment, so that by drinking this water, this blessed water, my Father, she will receive power. She will receive healing. She will be free from traumas. She will be free, my God, from everything that has been blocking her life, impeding her actions. This is what we determine in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And those of you who believe, drink from the water. Drink right now and be blessed. Be healed, be free in Jesus' name.
if you would really like to make the most of the time that you have left. We still have about 5 minutes till midnight. Contact our team, tell us the problems you're going through. Maybe you're going through your problems alone, by yourself, lonely. Maybe right now you're sitting at home in the dark by yourself. No one calls you, no one maybe remembers you in the times that you need the most. We are here for you. 020-7686-6300. Our team will be on standby for the next 5 minutes still. Until next time, have a wonderful night. May God bless you.